Alright everyone, welcome to this episode of the reflectedpixel.com how-to section. Today we're going to look at real quick making a large panorama inside of Photoshop. Let me just pull up some of these images here in Lightroom. You can see this was a misty morning on a recent trip to Bend. This was shot handheld. I think I locked down my exposure, but other than that I just went through and shot these 18 images, making sure to overlap plenty. This was shot with the D7000 and the 28-300 lens. So all you do, select all of your images in Lightroom, just click and then shift click to the last one, choose photo, edit in, merge to panorama in Photoshop. Photoshop CS5 is so amazing at merging panoramas that it just makes it fun. It's super fun to shoot panoramas now because Photoshop does such a good job and makes your life so much easier than it used to be. Alright, so you get this window here, and lately Auto has been doing a fantastic job, but you can try these others if you need if you want to keep the line straight on a building or whatever the case may be. If you did a 360 panorama, sometimes a cylindrical works well. I check these boxes too, especially if you're using a lens at vignettes. And then you just click OK. And you'll need to make sure you have plenty of RAM. Try not to have too many other things going at the same time, as this is going to become a very large file. So I'll let this run, and then we'll check back as soon as it's all done and see what we got out of it. So let's have a look here at what we've got. Perhaps let's go into full screen here. Slide some of this stuff out of the way. Real quick, you'll notice this file is 2.52 gigabytes. So it's not small by any stretch of the imagination. If you look over at our layers palette, you'll see that we have all of these layers, and you can see the tiny pieces that it actually used for the image, the white areas. And if this were something that moved, you could run down through and shift click on these layer masks to hide them temporarily, just to see what pieces and where it blended, all that kind of stuff. The thing I normally do next is I right click here and I convert this into a smart object. That way, if I do need to get back to all these layers, I can do it. Alright, so we have our smart object there. Let's knock our layers back down here. Now you have a couple of choices you can do here. You can crop, obviously. You can crop the image. You can warp it. You can also do a little bit of content-aware fill to make that look just right. So we're going to do kind of a combination of several of these. So here we go. Alright, so let's just start out by kind of getting off some of these rough edges. See where we want to place these things, something like that. I'm not sure if I like this tree on the side, but we'll see. Alright, so that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do next is hit Command T or Control T on the PC, then just right click and choose Warp. There are obviously other ways to get into this too. What this lets you do is just grab any of these points and you can just bend it. Bend your image down, bend it around, whatever you need to do. So just you can grab and you can push that down. You can kind of twist it back up a little bit. I don't usually do anything too drastic here, but on a really far panel like this, you might find yourself needing or wishing for a little bit of this. You can also use this to straighten out some lines. I don't like this little tree right here at all. Straighten up that edge a little bit. I'm not that worried that these are kind of funny because it kind of adds to the feel of the wide lens style panorama that we did here. Alright, now let's add a new layer. Just click right here on the bottom of the layers panel. Make a new layer. Make it any way you like. We're going to grab our spot healing brush, which is J. It's under the Band-Aid spot healing brush tool right there. And this is actually insanely easy on this image because of the blank sky, the mist look. But we'll just swipe across that. Notice we have sample all layers checked. That's key. And this will just run through and it's going to put the repair on this new layer. That's why the sample all layers is important. This is completely non-destructive. We can go all the way back to that smart object. Just holding down the space bar to move this around. Alright, now, so you can see a little blue sky peeking through there. That's normal. That's how it was. I'm going to hit Command 0. Zoom out on this a bit. And I think I would like to just miss that tree. Something like that. Maybe a little more on this side. Apply that crop. It'll take a minute. Alright. So let's have a look at this. It's panel. Looks good. Let's see what kind of detail we've got in this thing. Alright, so you can see exactly how much resolution we have. We're going to actual pixels. So we can print a big image off of that. Let's just see how big it ended up. So I'm sure you're interested. So 17,400 pixels across, and the 48,379 is almost as tall as that camera can take in a single shot. So if you're curious, 17,452, that puts us at about 84.5 megapixels. So we can print this pretty as big as we want to. One of the nice things about shooting panoramas this way. A lot better than shooting one super wide shot. Not that I had a lens that wide, but if I did, I would have to crop it down from my 16 megapixels that I normally capture. So by doing it this way, I get a lot more resolution to work with. And from here I can do any kind of topaz or styling filter that I want. Although I'm not sure if I would do much to this image, but I could if I wanted to. I'll shift click those, convert those to one smart object, save this file out, and I'll work as that as my master, and I may try some styles on top of that. Thanks for viewing. If you'd like to see some more of my images, go to reflectedpixel.com and check out the galleries there. Please post your comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks.